Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Camppatton Family Compound. It is time for the Monday Night Fireside Chat, and tonight's topic is canning chicken. And with me, I got Tammy and Mark, and yeah, it's going to be fun. Now, let's see who else here first. Go up here and check all the chat here. See who else come in and said hello. Okay, first in, Tammy was first one in. Then Moon Over Miami. Then Phelan Clan Wolf. Walt Rogers. 49 and more came in on Tammy's side. And Glit Edge came in on Tammy's side as well.
Hello. That's a new name.
Yep. And so hopefully everyone will get something out of tonight. And I know I didn't do many. I only did two slides on it. So I'm going to get those out of the way here real fast here at the beginning. So I did this one here, canned chicken for the thumbnail. Then I figured out I came up with this one here, and it was kind of funny. Yeah, I canned the whole chicken.
You mean I can't do it while it's alive?
No. Well, it looks pretty alive to me.
You can put a fat chicken in a pint jar.
I bought them out of the store in a tin like this, a whole chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Sous vide does it, but they take off the feathers first.
Yeah, you can always make a pillow with the leftovers.
That's right.
Hey, Chipper. Yeah, it was just I wanted to do something this week and just couldn't. Too busy with the kids. This is what really ticked me off. I had something for one of the future ones coming up here. I was going to do. I got on from the Life in Idaho Falls Facebook group. Someone posted the chef store has pork loin for $1.12 a pound on clearance.
Ooh.
And it was like, crap, I'm 30 minutes before my live stream and I can't get up there and into the store and to the register in 30 minutes. So I couldn't go. And today someone posted, yeah, they're all gone.
You need to make some new friends up there.
Yeah, someone that can run for you. Hey, pick me up one.
If she'd posted it earlier in the day when she goes, I forgot to post it several hours ago after I was up there. If she posted it in the morning, and I would have gotten like 30 pounds of it at that price.
Yeah.
And just plopped it in the freezer until it was time to can it up. But yeah, that was one of those ones that's just like, oh man. But yeah, there were several other people were up there and they went over there. But of course, after my live stream, they closed.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get up there to pick it up after the live stream. But I'm just going to have to start making trip whenever I go up there. I'm just going to have to swing by there anyway and see what if they have anything on sale there.
I'm telling you're going to make friends with a restaurant owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really, really do. Have no idea.
Yeah.
That reminds me. I call my friend the restaurant owner.
The interesting thing is, though, about making friends with the restaurant owner, my youngest son has got the job at Wolfboro Scout Camp as the maintenance person, which means he's like this with the quartermaster who orders all the food for the scout camp.
Yeah.
U.S. Foods.
You got budget numbers to deal with. It's like, yeah, that's a.
Yeah. All they got, they do it all the time. They'll order, like a scoutmaster beforehand will say, hey, we're going to be up there. Can you order this and this? And we will pay you, tell us what it is. We'll pay for it and pick it up there before we leave. And a lot of troops do that because they have to get to a scout camp. The following weekend, they do a weekend camp out, or 2 weeks later, do a weekend camp out, and they'll buy the dry goods and stuff up there, and and just take it home.
Well, if it's U.S. Foods, here's the key word. Get your pencil out there, Gil. Fresh to frozen special. That's what U.S. Foods does when they get in like 4,000 pounds of a particular chicken, meat, beef, whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't sell in a period of time, and it's only like 6 or 7 days left before expiration. They throw it in the freezer and first they put it on sale, then they put it in the freezer and try to clearance it out of there. They lose money most of the time.
Yeah. Or they break even.
Stuff I've been buying lately, there's no way they're breaking even on that. They just need it off there because they need the space.
Yep. Yeah. So, I'll be going up there tomorrow into Idaho Falls to get stuff. And if they did do the froze what didn't move, they froze it on Sunday. Then I'll ask about that up there, because then hey, I was going to freeze it anyway, so I might as well get those lungs and You
just got to have them call, because the reps don't tell everybody. If they have some of these restaurants, they have the app to order on their phone, or they do it on a computer, and then they can go looking in the specials bin. But the reps generally, if you just call in your order, they're not going to say, "Oh yeah, well we have it on special." You literally got to go online to the website.
You got to have a good rep, because when I was doing it for the scouts, for the council for the scouts, for the NYLT program stuff, I called them on a slow day, so the guy was all chatty, and we got chatting about stuff. And when I called the next time, he goes, "Always ask for me." And so next time I called to say, so and so said to ask him when I'm placing my order, called him, and he goes, "We talking stuff." And he goes, "Hey, we got this on sale, this on sale, this on sale."
Yep.
Because he was an Eagle Scout and he loved Scout Camp.
Yep. They'll give you all the discounts. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, that's where I got over there. I got those big gallon, number 10 cans of the Monarch brand baked beans. Yeah, that's where I got those from. So that's
Yeah, Sam's Club had their number 10 cans of cheese on sale this week. So
I saw that. I almost bought one. I'm like, I don't have time to can cheese right now.
I'm going back. I did the nacho, and I should have stopped tonight and got it. I'll probably go up Wednesday. I'm gonna do canned mac and cheese next, and I need the regular cheese for that. And I messed up because I thought wasn't thinking. I'm like, I don't want to put nacho in the mac and cheese.
Do you ever mix Rotel with your cheese sauce?
Oh yes. I make my own can though.
Yeah, I can that too. I mean, I re-can Rotel, and the kids loved it, and
Oh yeah.
And right. Yeah, there's all sorts of fun stuff to can. I'm just learning so much from you guys and from everybody else that's canning out there now. Having done emergency preparedness from a different perspective, now learning this perspective of, I don't have to buy all this stuff pre-done. I can buy it on the cheap and can it myself.
It costs the same for a number 10 can as it does for a 15-ounce can of cheese sauce.
Yes.
Oh.
I do.
Literally, when I can them, I do the half pints. So literally, there's 16 half pints, and 15 of them are free because it's the same price if I'd have bought a 15-ounce and done.
Yeah.
That's the same with that. What is it? The Don Pepino pizza sauce. It's great. My kids love it. My wife loves it. Make English muffin pizzas, regular pizza. Yep. I'll buy a number 10 can. It's like, it used to be like, $4. And the little tiny soup can size was like $1.49.
Yeah.
I'm like, give them the big one. I brought 2 of them home, put them in the little 4-ounce jam jars. And they're great. One jar does a 12-inch pizza.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And not throwing it in the trash like everybody always does.
Yeah. Checked off. She did a video today. It was released to members only. When are you going to open that up to everybody tomorrow or the next day or something?
It was open.
No, the cheese sauce is open.
Okay.
The antique video is members only. It'll be
that's right.
Tomorrow.
That was the one. Okay.
I watched them
both. I watched them both.
I came out with 2 today. One for members, one for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, so I checked off. It's out there on on a thing of her recanning the cheese sauce, which is absolutely fine to do. All right, chickens.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Okay. I'm having a squirrel moment. Here on Facebook. Somebody posted a reel, and it says, "I can never unsee this." And basically, it looks like you're looking at the back end of a chicken, and it has the thing go, and the egg starts coming out, back in, and it pops out, and it backs off, and this guy has all this chicken feathers around his mouth. He had the egg in his mouth, and he had straw there, and he was pretending he was laying an egg.
I never seen it. Now I can't unsee that. That's gross.
No.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Canning chicken. Back to the topic.
I have a video. I did it. We talked about it a little while ago when we talked about all the different things we canned. But I do have they call it ugly chicken because it does not look pretty in a jar.
But it tastes good.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And quick and easy meals. You don't have to wait for it. It's just like having pre-cooked, rotisserie chicken right there.
Do you know that tuna helper is great if you use canned chicken?
Ooh.
Not that I condone tuna helper because of all the things that are in there. I'll make my own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't usually buy the boxed helper mixes. I usually just make my own.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it was like one of the ones that we used to buy a lot of because the boys and even my daughter, when she was at home, loved it, was the cheesy enchilada hamburger helper. My wife figured out, okay, here we go. Make it home. Hey, Happy Mac. I couldn't unsee that guy. And basically, she figured it all out. She wrote the recipe down. And for the quote enchilada spice stuff and everything, she figured out and got it tasting. Actually, it tastes a little bit better than the hamburger helper one. And she has this big jar of it she makes up, and she writes on it what she put in it. And so it's basically you take it out and get two big soup spoons full of that into there, and either beef or pork or chicken or turkey. Mm-hmm. And they just absolutely love it. And so now, if we can do we start raising the chickens here, and when she retires up here, we're going to be canning a lot of chickens for that. But question as far as, go ahead.
The price of meat birds. I just found a sale through 4-H. But they're like $3.50 a chick.
Yeah. They add all the food and everything you put into it. You got a $4 chicken when you're done.
Or more. Yeah.
Or more. Yeah.
Or more. I was like, wow, they have really went up this year.
Yeah.
Got to breed them.
Yeah. It's hard to do the Cornish cross. Most of the chickens you buy are Cornish cross. Most of the meat birds you buy are Cornish cross. Now, if you want to put some more time into them, which means more feed, you can do some dual purposes, or there are a couple meat breeds that are like the Bresse, BRESSE. Mm-hmm. There's a couple birds like that, but they take longer. They're not going to be 6 weeks, 8 weeks and done.
Yeah. My daughter right now has been doing, they were getting the Cornish cross whites. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Lazy over there was told, all right, this weekend you need to do them. Oh, I'm busy. I can't do them. The next weekend.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Some were just so big they couldn't walk.
They will actually have a heart attack and die after like 10, 12 weeks.
Yeah.
I had one. No. I had one. I was given a whole bunch of chickens. There were some that somebody just picked up at Easter and didn't want anymore. They, those Easter chicks are really cute, but 8-10 weeks down the road, they're not that cute. Well, I was given one, and I had it for a little while, and then I had to go away on vacation, and I was going to be gone for 4 weeks. And so I gave them to my friend, and I went back over to her place, and she's like, Tammy, what kind of bird was that? And I'm like, I have no idea. That thing was probably 25 pounds.
Oh my God, it's a turkey.
He was bigger than her turkeys.
Ooh.
He was huge. He was absolutely huge. He did finally pass away. But you're friends with her on Facebook too, and I can't think of her name right now. But we trade things quite a bit like that. And yeah.
My daughter finally, after a couple of years of doing the White Cornish cross, they had Rhode Island Reds for egg chickens,
mm-hmm.
and they you know how some people, when they go to the store and they see the chicks, they got to buy them even though they have more chickens at home than what they can deal with anyways. Chicken math. Yeah. Well, she bought a dozen chickens.
But they're small. They don't take up much space.
Well, they wound up going ahead and processing some of the older Rhode Island Reds.
Right.
And she goes, I can't tell any difference between these and the Cornish White. And these, I get eggs out of them for a year or so, and then we take care of them.
Right.
And her chickens out there, they do a lot of free range foraging because they got it. They have like a dog kennel or for their chicken run. They fly up. They're always sitting up on the top of the dog kennel, and they'll fly out. And then at night, in the evening, they're all sitting up there again, and they drop down inside, and they go inside the garden shed, which is used for their coop. And boom, it's like they're not buying that much feed for those chickens. They get some just to make sure they have a good balanced diet with all the bugs they're eating and everything else they're eating out
and
there.
And the greens, they eat a lot of leafy greens. Mm-hmm. They'll eat the alfalfa right out of your yard.
And so she's been doing Rhode Island Reds, and so talking with my wife, it's either A, we're going to do some over here, or B, we're going to enlarge their area over there across the street and add some more chickens to their stuff, and then just bring over bags of feed for them, whatever to help out.
Right.
So what about canning chicken? Oh, I'm sorry, that's the topic tonight.
Yeah, yes. Well, and that anyway. So that's what we're going to do is we'll probably start canning a bunch of chickens from what we're raising here, because hey, guess what? They're raised a lot healthier than the ones you buy in the store.
Yeah.
So Tammy, what methods are there for canning chicken?
Well, you can raw pack. You can can it with broth. You can can it bone in. You can can it deboned.
So I can do like chicken legs in like a wide mouth pint. I'm just gonna ask. I'm just gonna ask good questions now for everybody else's benefit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. You could do all legs in there, and half upright and half the other way.
How do they taste?
They tend to kind of come apart, so they're not like real good for like frying, but they taste wonderful.
So they come out. They're almost deboned.
Oh yeah, they will be deboned. You when you have it, do it the bone in time. Don't go do the longer time, because then they just like fall apart in the jar.
So are the bones soft enough? Can I give them to my dog?
No, we should never give bones to our dog. Now, some people say that you can grind them up and give them to your dog. I'm always afraid they will splinter in my dog's stomach, and I don't want to pay the vet bill.
I've done that.
It's better if you for the bones,
chicken bones, till like you can smash it with your fingers.
Yeah.
Then I put it in a jar, can it up with some rice or whatever. Oh wait, rice? Wait a minute. And I can't. Yeah, I've done it. And whatever.
He's a rebel too.
The second most requested recipe in Rebel Canners. What in the world is that?
Somebody liked my
Oh.
comment.
The second most requested recipe in Rebel Canners is for dog food.
Yeah.
Second most. Yep.
It depends on the dog. But yeah, I did chicken bones. I made chicken broth. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me throw these bones back in my All-American pressure canner. Threw them back in there with a little bit of water for another like hour. And they just turned to mush.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Now,
great.
Now that's different. But, I'm going to go with the standard. Don't give it to them if they're still, the bones are still hard.
Well, there's something better you can do. You grind up the chicken bones and
you froze.
You put them in the garden.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And that way the calcium stuff goes into the soil, and you
can throw them out in the chicken coop. The chickens will pick away at it.
I'm a rebel composter. I got to tell you, everything they tell me not to put in your compost, I put in there.
You can't put meat out there and bones. You'll attract rats. You horrible person. Yeah, I know, right?
No. You'll attract the bugs that break down the meat and everything else and turn it into really good compost like nature does.
Yeah. And the chickens, they like the flies and the bugs and the things that,
Oh, the larvae? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I have it one of those it's a great big barrel on a 8-foot pole, 8-inch round pole that's really heavy duty, and it's a tumbler. I
made one. Yeah.
The raccoons can get in my cabin. They can't get in my composter. Just
they're smelling it going, come on, man, let me in.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, my picture's a raccoon. Let me in.
No raccoons.
Change that picture.
My nephew is coming in. My nephew is coming and fixing the places where they're getting in. So they're going to be very sad this summer when they're completely and totally evicted.
Now, for when canning chicken, another question here. I pretty much know the answer, but I want to make sure, clarifying for everybody out there who's afraid to ask the question. Guys, there's no such thing as a stupid question, except for the one you don't ask.
Ask away.
So, you can't. The way you said cold pack, raw pack, with broth in it, whatever. What sort of seasonings can you not use when canning the chicken?
I like salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic. I do not use anything with sage. A lot of people like to use poultry seasoning. It has a lot of ground sage. Now, if you're doing it for 1 to 2 weeks, it might taste fine. It's one of those things where I can taste a bitterness. It gives it a very pungent, bitter twang. So I do not put sage in. I will put my poultry seasoning on after I open it up. But everything else is fair game. I do like canned chicken pot pie. I've done a video on that. I do what I call my soup starter, which is chicken, broth, and some mixed vegetables, which is not that different than the pot pie, really. But it's mostly just carrots, celery, and onions. And then that's my basic soup starter. I will make everything from that.
And for those that don't know in the side chat, what do you use as a thickener? I know the answer to this one.
The official answer is Clear Gel.
And the rebel answer?
Flour, arrowroot powder, cornstarch.
There was another one you were talking about on it where you said you use
potato starch.
Instant mashed potatoes.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's approved. That's an approved weapon. Yes. Okay. The secret ingredient in the chicken pot pie filling to thicken it up and not make it gummy is instant mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I changed my avatar to a rat now.
Instant mashed potatoes to me is kind of like bacon. It makes a lot of things better.
It does. Even when you don't realize it's in there, it makes it better. Yeah.
You don't want a raccoon. I'm like, fine, I'm a rat.
Okay.
Hang on. Where is my 45-70 rifle here so I can take care of that rat?
He's Ratatouille.
Oh, now one of the things, so meals and stuff. All right, you talked about chicken pot pies.
Mm-hmm.
What other type of full or half starter meal things would you can?
Oh, see, my
Soup?
chicken. Yeah, my chicken soup starter. I do chicken and noodles.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken noodle casserole goes in that.
You can noodles.
I do. I'm a bad rebel. I do can noodles. Now, if I make a huge batch of soup, I'm gonna can the noodles and everything in there. I know they're gonna break down. I don't care.
Just
I'm
throw
not
them
gonna.
dry. Just throw them in there dry.
I don't do it on purpose. I just because it takes up so much space in my jars, and my jars cost money. So the noodles are something I can store dry,
Right.
and not have as much space in my jar. So I don't usually put them in.
That way a pint will make like a quart of soup because
exactly.
you have the noodles add in afterwards.
Exactly. And a lot of I concentrate my broth in there too, so that I can add water and it has a lot of flavor still. So a lot of my canned soup starters is concentrated broth. I don't water it down.
All right. Broth just made me think of. So if and back to the beginning, we're talking about what I missed getting up there at the chef store, the pork loin. Now, when I go to can that, what broth would you add to it? Because I don't see any pork broth at any of the stores around. I see chicken and I see beef.
Well, you can buy pork bouillon.
Yep.
Or you can buy ham bouillon. I wouldn't recommend the ham.
No.
But I add water and let it make its own broth.
Okay.
So if I'm going to can like pork, the way my mom did it, this is the way she did it. This is the way I like it. This is what tastes good to me. It is cubed ham. Loin is fine. Carrots, onions, and potatoes. And you layer them. So, and then you put it in the jar and you can it, and you have canned pork roast.
Okay.
And
because canned pork is considered the other white meat.
Yes.
Fun fact: when I was a chef, we didn't have pork base to make things with pork, so we did 50-50 chicken base and beef base. You mix them two together, you can't tell what it is anymore. Must be pork.
Yes.
Okay.
I just save the water or the broth out of. I don't like to dry can or more raw pack much. I always put water in it because I use my broth. If I don't use it in that meal, I'm using it in my next meal, or I'm making soup out of it later. I love soup. We love soup here a lot, and so I always add the water in because I want to use that broth for something later.
Yeah.
I just canned up the broth from the hams from Easter too.
Yeah.
So I have ham broth, but that's going to be bean soup soon.
Oh yeah.
So Wickershire just came in on your side.
Hi, Bill.
Now, so you have chicken. You put it in there. Here's what's interesting. I've seen when I was looking at stuff. I was going to pull pictures, but I decided not to. I saw pictures of breasts going in a jar, and I saw pictures of legs going in a jar.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see any things where they pulled the thighs apart, did thighs in the jar or wings in a jar.
I don't do wings in a jar, but I usually
wings are pointless.
Yeah, there's nothing left really.
If you're canning bones.
Yeah,
and a tiny bit of meat.
Yeah.
My mom was the only person I've ever seen actually eat a wing, other than like the boneless wings. People don't eat a lot of wings like around here. But I throw all that in to make a broth. So I have a bag in my freezer. and it has all the vegetable scraps, all the offcuts of chicken like that. And I make a broth, and then I strain it and can the broth. So that's what that's going for. But I do take the chicken thighs and I will can them. I've canned them whole, and I've deboned them. I really like to debone my meat before I can it.
Yeah, then you take the bones, you throw them in the oven, roast them, and you throw them in a pot and make more stock to put in
More
your
soup,
chicken
more broth.
that you can.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So fun fact for probably a lot that are watching right now, a lot of us, including myself, love the Sam's Club rotisserie chicken.
Mhm.
Oh,
I got a
yeah.
friend of mine, hopefully Richard's watching right now. He doesn't have a login, but I got him keyed up on his roommate buys a rotisserie chicken every Thursday. He finally told him, he's like, stop throwing the bones out. He throws the bones in a pot, makes stock, and makes soup out of it. Has soup for like 3 days because it's only one chicken.
Yeah.
And but if you do that and you want a canned chicken and you already bought roasted rotisserie chicken somewhere, skins, everything, throw it in there. You skim the fat off, and you got all that flavor. I mean, my wife loves it. All my friends love it. It's just, yeah, it's a good flavor, and use that for your stock.
Yep. And then a lot of times I'll like make potato soup. So I'll just boil my potatoes in there, mash them. And once I've made the broth, I'll boil my potatoes right in that broth and mash them up for soup. Rich.
Okay. So besides canning the meat, we can't make the broth. We can the broth, and now we have all nice broth on there for other projects as well, besides just making soups and stuff as well.
Yep.
So,
and
okay.
I like to can potatoes in chicken broth for quick soups. There's like French onion soup. You can use the beef broth or the chicken broth and make a French onion soup. So it's just onions and broth, and it's really good. Really good.
So you can make out of chicken bones if you have a butcher nearby, and they have lots of necks and backs from their chickens. You roast them. You can do them raw. Just throw them in a pot and boil them. You get a very clear, light chicken broth. I like to take mine and throw them in a big pan and throw them in the oven and roast them until they're bubbly and brown. Then I'll throw them in a pot, juice, everything that came out of it, onions, throw it in a pot, and make a roasted chicken bone broth out of it. Ooh. So then you got that. I do my beef bones. I got friends that get cows slaughtered, and they're like, do you want any meat? I was like, no, I want the bones. I want all the bones.
Yep.
And I'll roast them until they're almost burned, throw them in the pressure cooker, and it takes like 3 hours, and after, it's funny because I'll pull a jar of bone broth out and it's liquid in the jar, which is always weird. And I have to explain that to people because it's under a negative pressure. It's a liquid. And I pop it open, throw a little bit on my dog's food or whatever because he needs the collagen. And I'll put the cap back on and put it in the fridge. The next morning, it's like a solid brick of Jello. You can't even, it doesn't even jiggle. It's just hard. But you throw it in a microwave or whatever for a second just to thin it down, pour a little more on the food. Yeah, it makes chicken bones do the same thing. If you roast them, get a lot of them, especially necks and backs. They have the most collagen in them. So, and then you can, and I can a lot of chicken broth.
Now, a lot of people, I only did this once because it is an enormous amount of work. And I thought this would be really cool. A lot of people use the feet if you're butchering your own chicken. Because there is actually the most collagen is in the feet. And so, but it is a tremendous amount of work, and you have to be very dedicated to that craft. And personally, I am not.
No, I'm not that dedicated to go buy chicken feet.
But you know how to do it.
I have. But
so
again,
in a jumping over to the other channel, Gray Man prepping this thing. So in an SHTF or Tawaki into the world as we know it situation, you would be doing that.
You cook everything then.
Well, see, my mother went through the Depression, so I grew up cooking everything. Like, we joke that my mom tanned the hide she didn't eat the toenails and she didn't eat the squeak. But I did see her can pickled pig's feet, so we're not so sure about the toenails. But I'm telling you, in our food was everything but the squeak. And you might wind up wearing the hide. Just saying. She even took the fat and made soap. There was nothing and the bones were all boiled for broth, even the venison, and there was nothing left when my mom got done. There was nothing left.
Yeah. I don't know my family, my grandmother on my mom's side. Mm-hmm. I don't know about my grandmother on my dad's side because she died when I was she died before 66. So before I was 10 years old, she passed away, and she was in Henderson, Nevada, and we were in California. So I don't know if she did, but my dad and my mom's mom ate pickled pig's feet.
Yeah,
no one else in the family would touch them.
We grew up on pig's feet, pig's knuckles, not necessarily pickled, but yeah, she would throw them in a pot, roast them a little bit, and then boil them up, and we would just sit there and eat pig's knuckles.
I am the only person that will eat them, but I can't find them around here anymore, pickled. So I may have to break down and do my own. But yes. But I have the recipe. I've done it. But again, it's also a lot of work.
Yeah.
You have to be really, like dedicated to it. And then the thing around here is we don't have a good butcher, like you were talking about, knowing your butcher and knowing.
Yeah.
I don't have anybody close by. Yeah. I actually go 45 minutes away to get our meat from the best butcher. And so, yeah, it's hard.
Now, here's something for everyone out there just thought of what you were saying there. Let's see if I can get this open up here on the other tab here and show you guys it. Come on, show it. I hope it's still in there. Yes, it is. Okay. There is a Facebook group I recently joined. And I see that my wife hasn't joined it yet, so I need to invite her to it. Hobby Farms of Southeast Idaho. See if there's some hobby farms over there near you. And there's all sorts of stuff popping up on this thing for turkey. But because there's a lot of people around here have little farms. They have hobby farms. They work 9 to 5, whatever, or 8 to 4, in Idaho Falls or Blackfoot or Shelley or wherever around here. And then they run their own little hobby farm for the rest of the time. And basically, it's like their side hustle. They're saving money.
Yes.
And, all the different things, they're, selling the old, because, the irrigation wheels and stuff out there and everything else. Chicks. $10 each, or these are great butt nugget makers.
$10 a chick, jeez.
Or 5 for $40. These are special breed. They dropped it down to $8 there. But everything else here, and there's all sorts of stuff out here right now. They've switched from mostly the other stuff here from the animals, but the brooders are all coming out. They're all talking about selling brooders and stuff, and you got farm equipment and other things here. But a couple weeks ago, it was a totally different line of stuff being put out here. And they're talking about canning, and they're talking about canning jars, and they're talking about the chickens and everything else. But it's so check to see if there's one of these in your area, on for Facebook that you can find out about, maybe getting chicks and stuff. There were some other ones here that the chickens were down to like $2 each. Someone was selling them at $2. Chicks at $2 each. I can't find it right.
You wait about 4 weeks, and all those people that got their kids Easter chicks are going to be on Facebook Marketplace going free chickens.
Come and
get them out of my house. Get them
That
out
and
of my
bunnies.
house.
Yep.
And I just watch, and then if I need something, I pick it up then. I have a couple farmers I have good relationships with that raise different animals, and I usually, get a phone call. Do you want this? Do you want that? A friend of mine was going on vacation and she had 7 roosters too many in her coop, and she's like,
Mhm.
"Hey, I was going to do something with them, but I can't. I don't have time. Would you like them?" So I went and picked them all up. And you can pick up a lot. You don't have to really have a big cash outlay for some of this if you're just smart and you watch the ads, or you let people know that you're willing to take their problems off their hands. You don't have to tell them what you're going to do with their problems.
Mhm.
Just that you're willing to take them off their hands.
Yeah, we need egg chickens. We'll take those chickens off your hands.
That's right.
And if they don't produce, they go to freezer camp.
Your 4-year-old hens that aren't laying like they were a couple of years ago, I have room in my coop for a couple of those.
Yeah, and my dog has room in his belly for the rest.
Well,
and that's the thing people need to realize. Chickens and rabbits, hey, they're food for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I gotta
people
work on
get
my wife on
attached.
that one.
Yeah.
I've gotten attached to animals. There's some animals I love, and I could not, send to freezer camp. I understand you can get attached. I had a pet chicken that I was very attached to. I didn't send him to freezer camp, mostly because my son made a mistake while I was on vacation. I should not go on vacation. But yeah.
Hey, you wound up with a chicken turkey when you came back the one time.
No, that was somebody else that gave. I just passed him on.
Oh.
It was Bonnie. You've seen Bonnie's post.
I've seen Bonnie.
Yeah. And so Bonnie and I, we kind of she lives on that side of the state and I live on this side of the state. And we kind of network. She's like, "Hey, can you go pick that up from your side of the state for me?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then I get there and they're like, "You want this too?" And I'm like, "Sure."
I think Bonnie's the one that rescued me off of the regular canning Facebook pages way back and she sent me a message saying, "Yeah, you need to come over to Rebel Canners."
Yeah. I have sat in Bonnie's kitchen and had coffee many a time. And we share garden stuff, and she's the one that helped hook me up with those 300 pounds of potatoes I'm still eating from 5 years ago.
Hey,
so
those are all canned, right?
They're all canned.
So you got 5 years worth of canned potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
actually a field.
And you're sitting really good as far as food storage with that is concerned.
Yes. I will never have to buy potato. I will never have to can potatoes again in my lifetime. Nor do I want to after canning 300 pounds.
They don't last forever in a jar, but yeah.
I'm just that was a lot of work by myself. I did not have help with that. I didn't. The kids were not old enough. The older kids were gone, and the younger kids were not old enough to help me peel them or do anything with them. And it was a lot of work. A lot of work.
You all need freeze dryers.
Yes. Amen.
I haven't done diced potatoes raw freeze dried yet. I haven't thought about that. Actually, I don't need to do if they're raw. I don't know. I have to think about that one.
Yeah, because I know that
you have to blanch it, don't you?
Well, a lot of things you don't have to blanch. My wife wants me to make zucchini sliced chips in a freeze dryer.
Yeah, but potatoes turn black.
Throw a little lemon juice on there you gotta freeze them and then freeze dry. I don't know. I gotta look into that and think about it. Maybe test a little bit, or just cook them and make my own.
Potatoes are like onions. Yep, potatoes are like onions. They'll absorb bacteria out of the air. That's why potato salad goes bad. Not the mayonnaise, because the mayonnaise has a lot of vinegar in it. It's the potatoes themselves that are pulling stuff out and going bad.
Yeah, and the starch in it turns black so easy.
Yeah.
Under any heat, and then when you freeze them, they turn black. So that's why people blanch them before they freeze them. So I'm
kill the
thinking
enzymes.
freeze drying might be the same way, but I'd have to do some research.
Yeah, it's unless you just cook it and make mashed potatoes. And I did my garlic cheese mashed potatoes and freeze dried them. So I just got to add a little water to it, and I got my garlic cheddar loaded mashed potatoes. I threw bacon bits in a couple of them because I can. Yeah, sorry. Freeze dryer now. Wait.
You guys are giving me all these recipe ideas here for doing chicken with potatoes and the bacon and the.
Oh, you can that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, throw your diced chicken and potato diced chunks and some pre-cooked bacon a little bit just to get the flavor out of it. Throw that in there and then can that and sure. Yeah.
I just got a killer deal on bacon. You know, you saw the one that I did the video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We went back up there and it was all half off. $6.39 a package. I just did 15, 18 more jars. 18 more.
Pre-cook, that's where you wrap it up in the
parchment. But it's already in the parchment. I just folded it over and rolled it up. It was already pre-cooked in the parchment, folded it over, rolled it up, stuck it in the jar, and then canned it for 75 minutes.
Does it when you take it out of the jar, is it still flexible?
You better be done.
So you can flatten it back. You can flatten it back out and throw it in the
frying
pan and just fry bacon.
It's pre-cooked.
Right, yeah, but you can throw it in a pan quick and
you just
heat it up in the pan.
Crisp it back
Brown
up. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, something I've noticed too about like the the Hormel bacon you got there with the thing. Personally, when I take it out, I'm looking at it, okay, this is pre-cooked. To me, it's not cooked enough.
No, I like to cook it anyway. I still heat it up.
Yeah.
I like my bacon crispy.
Yeah.
Yes.
But being cooked as much as it is extends its shelf life in the refrigerator.
Well, those packages you don't have to they're hermetically sealed.
Yeah.
And they don't have to be refrigerated. That package that I cooked yesterday was good until December of this year.
Oh, was it the cooked bacon, like the Hormel cooked bacon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, and there's still I always cook that anyway because it needs to be crispy. Yeah, you can eat it the way it is, but that's cool.
But now they'll last for 2 years instead of till December. Now they'll last for at least 2 years in the jar.
Right.
And I have
with chicken. We got to talk about chicken here because it's a chicken candy.
But you do the same thing with chicken. I mean, you get it. You could buy it on sale and get it put away, and then it's good on in the jars. No refrigerator, no freezer, no freeze dryer.
Well,
and it's good. It's good for a couple of years in your jars or more, depending on your storage conditions.
Just rotate through it and don't try to make it last forever because it doesn't.
No.
All right. Now, we kind of mentioned it a little bit last week on this. Taking a chicken breast, that pre-cooked bacon, which is still soft and flexible, wrap the chicken breast with the bacon, pack the jar with those in it, and then put a little water or chicken broth in on top of it. That chicken is going to taste absolutely amazing when it comes out.
Oh yeah. And you could put just a little dash of hickory smoke too if you want your chicken breast to be a little more smoky.
A dash. Tiny dash.
Just a couple drops. Couple drops.
Yeah. A drop. A drop.
A drop. Yeah. Now, so garlic works fine for adding garlic to them. Powdered onions works fine. Pepper, salt, chili powder should work good.
Yep.
Okay.
Really, the only spice I don't can is anything with sage. And I don't can with a lot of bay leaf
and fresh oregano, fresh basil.
Yeah,
one leaf maybe in a quart jar, but you're gonna get a lot of flavor out of it, and it can go bitter and do some weird things.
Yeah,
unless it's cooked first.
I like the dehydrated spices to can with.
Now back to canned chicken. just chicken breast in a jar, and I know we talked about this. Does it, when you open that jar, does it still just smell like chicken?
No, it actually smells more like tuna fish. It has a real unpleasant aroma to it.
I like the
And
smell of tuna fish, though. I'm weird.
Yeah,
I know. I like
not
the
with
smell
chicken.
of it.
Not with
it's
chicken.
not really a tuna fish smell, though. It's just the closest descriptor I can give you.
It's from
Yeah.
being all the
Yeah.
gases that are gassing off in the jar or in a can like tuna.
Mhm.
They give off, and my wife and I call it a sulfur smell. It's not sulfur.
Yeah, but it's not.
But-
But it's
And
It's
I brought that up years ago on Rebel Canners. It was like, I don't know what you're talking about. My chicken's fine. I'm like, we open it up. It's like, okay. And then Tammy said, she's like, yeah, you kind of need to cook it first. But I like to make chicken salad out of it because it's that perfect chicken for chicken
Mhm.
salad. But you need to leave it out for a bit to let it gas off because
Yeah.
whatever the proteins and things are in the chicken meat, when it cans in a jar in a closed environment, traps it.
Yeah.
So it gives off that odor.
So that's why the canned chicken I get at Costco or Sam's Clubs tastes like tuna. Or smells
Right.
like tuna when I open it
Yeah.
up.
Yes.
And it's not the tuna it smells like, it's the gases or
Yeah.
And I wish I knew. I got to dig into that.
Yeah,
Find out
there's
what
got to be a scientific.
it's an organic compound that's given off, but it's trapped. So it recombines back into the meat. And then when you open the can up and let it sit, because tuna fish, when you take it out of the can, initially, yeah, it has that flavor to it. I'm just used to it because I grew up with it. The chicken is weird, but if you leave it out to gas off for a while, it kind of calms down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually just cook it lightly. I just lightly saute it in my frying pan and then let it cool off for chicken salad. Again, I always just kind of saute it and then I try not to smell it when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And then I just, it doesn't, I don't know. Once you saute it for a minute, though, it smells like cooked chicken. And it's like, oh, this is delicious. And I want to eat this.
I'll
So
tell my wife that. The more we opened one and the more we ate it,
Mhm.
the more we were tuned into it, and the worse it seemed. It
Yeah.
wasn't any worse. It just every time you open it, it smells like, oh my God, it's worse. Oh my God, I can't stand it. Now I can smell it a mile away.
I just
And it-
saute it. I open it and I saute it with and with the exhaust fan going. I saute it and then
Let it cool down.
let it cool down, and it's fine. It
have to try that.
just needs
I gave
that
most of
little.
this to the dogs. I couldn't take it anymore. I gave it to the dogs. I'm like, here, you eat
Yeah,
it. They're like, this is great, Dad. Thanks.
And at least 3 or 4 times a year, we get someone. I can this, and it must be bad because I opened it and I smelled it, and it smells bad. But my lid was sealed. And it's like, no, that's just chicken. That's what chicken does.
Yeah.
Cook it,
And
then
beef doesn't, but poultry does for some reason.
yeah.
Well, I bet I bet it's all poultry: chicken, turkey, pheasant,
Yep.
guinea fowl, whatever.
No,
Because no, because
no,
I
it
would
really
imagine they
is.
all kind of eat the same way out there.
It really is specific to chicken because, like, I have canned ostrich, and I didn't notice it at all. It's very much a red meat. I have canned duck. I have I haven't canned pheasant that I can remember doing,
Well, ducks eat totally different too.
but no, it's really specific to chicken.
Okay.
I can't say that any of the other poultry. Turkey doesn't do that.
Turkey doesn't do it. Okay.
I don't think it does. It has its own smell, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
It has a
never-
smell.
I never
But
canned raw turkey. I just canned turkey broth.
Yeah, turkey has a smell, but it's not the same. It's not it doesn't smell like turkey when you first open it until you start to cook it, but it doesn't have a bad smell like chicken does.
And
Yeah.
every year during Thanksgiving, everybody's like, "Oh, you got to save the broth and make your turkey gravy." No, my turkey gravy's already on a stove because every year we cook a turkey, and then the next day, well, not this year, we run to the store and you can get a 16-pound turkey on sale. I take it home. I cook this. So Good Friday for me, or not Good Friday, Black Friday is Turkey Friday. I cook a turkey on Thanksgiving. I cook a turkey on Friday. That turkey goes right for everything else, either freezing the meat, slicing it up, or making broth. But I make a lot of broth. The next year, those jars of turkey broth are my turkey gravy for that Thanksgiving. So my gravy's on the stove cooking already. And everybody's like, why? How'd you make the gravy? It's like, that's turkey broth. Where'd you get the turkey? Last year. What? Last year?
Oh, yeah. And I don't get just one. I do 4.
Well, whatever.
4 will last me the whole year. Now, I have to confess, don't tell my kids, but most of the chicken in the basement is actually turkey. Because
I saw that look over there towards the door.
there's one down there that might hear me. But they don't like the turkey, blah, 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 blah. But let me tell you, at 39
They
cents
don't like
a pound.
gobble, 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 gobble,
Yeah,
gobble.
at 39 cents a pound, 6 months later, you're not going to know going down to my basement shelves if that's turkey or chicken. And it's going to taste just as good in my chicken noodles as it does either way.
Chicken noodle soup,
Maybe
turkey
better.
noodle soup, good stuff.
Yeah. And so I usually buy them on sale and can them, and then I have them for the year when they go on sale. Used to be 39 cents a pound. Now it's like $69, $89, $29. But when they go on sale, when they clearance them out, I'm picking up. I want 4, and I want them canned. So
call your U.S. Foods guy.
Hey, I just found a clearance turkey a week and a half ago. So 3 days before Easter, we did turkey. We did a Thanksgiving dinner.
Yep.
Because I found one clearanced out.
Cool. All right. So let's see. Coming up here this week. Are you going live this week, Tammy? Not sure.
Probably. Yes. Probably Thursday at noon.
Thursday at noon. That's Eastern time, noon.
Eastern time, noon.
Okay. For me, tomorrow on my other channel, Gray Man Prepping, the topic is food storage poison. No, what I'm talking about there is talking about pre-packaged stuff you buy in the stores, and all like, oh, look at this. This has yellow dye number 5 or orange dye number 13. And
monosodium glutamate is the second ingredient, right next to sodium.
Hey, even worse than that, the Walmart Great Value drink mixes. First ingredient, maltodextrin. Yeah, first ingredient.
But it tastes so good. The kids love it.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk. That's what we're talking about tomorrow. A lot. Why they're putting a lot of this crap, and it is crap, into the food that we try. That we're going to store this. We're going to store all these boxes of Cheerios and all these other things. Oh, the bag of chips is unopened. It's good for another year and a half. We're going to store some of those.
No.
When my aunt died, she had 140 boxes of cereal in her basement.
Oh my God.
But like all her kids would come, and she had a lot of kids, would come over and get cereal from her. So like, but yeah, like that does not keep very well. You have to seal it in something. You have to have a jar sealer. You can't just put that on your shelf.
Why can't they put Ziplocs on cereal bags? Sorry, that's a long-term question.
All right, so Thursday night is the Midnight Ride on Gray Man Prepping. Back here on Friday on Camppatton Family Compound. We're talking about seeds, GMO poisonous seeds.
Ooh.
GMO poisonous? Well, that's what we're going to explain on Friday. Saturday on Gray Man Prepping. Are you smarter than a Boy Scout?
Ooh.
This is coming from a Scoutmaster.
What if you are a Boy Scout?
Yeah. Next Monday, the topic is canning vegetables here. So we'll talk about canning vegetables. All right.
Thanks for the notification. I guess we have to work on that, Tammy.
Challenge accepted, I guess. I mean, I've been I was late. Cheese sauce came out after the sauce video. Sorry.
Can I can zucchini? No.
I do can zucchini. I can't
Why?
grate it because I don't want to tie up my freezer with bags of grated zucchini, and I love zucchini bread all year long.
Okay, that's for zucchini bread.
Exactly.
We'll leave that for next Monday.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's what's coming up next Monday. And all right, I gotta get over here. Cold War Prepper just went live, and I'm gonna be heading over there. I invite everybody to go over to Cold War Prepper too. So he's doing Introduction to U.S. Government Civics 101, Chapter 8, Article 2, the Presidency is what he's talking about tonight. So learn a little bit about your government.
Okay.
Oh, good.
All right, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for coming here and sharing your side chat with us, and hopefully everybody learned something. We'll see you around.
Geeky Garden said she left a loaf of bread in her fridge. Yeah, it depends on what's in the bread. That I have that issue too. I make my own bread; it goes moldy in 3 days.
Yeah.
No preservatives.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. See you around.